Hello, everyone. You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Thomas I. Likeness, broadcasting from our studio in Edmonton, Canada. It's Monday, May the 31st, 2021, on this side of the world, Memorial Day in the United States. And a good Tuesday morning, magandang umaga, to our viewers in the Philippines. In the news, we have updates from several of our correspondents from across North and Central America. Mila Simbulan in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania.
100% capacity for Pennsylvania businesses, events and venues starts today, Memorial Day. And masking order remains until 70% of adults are fully vaccinated by June 28.
Mayan Manzano Gerzan in Sicklerville, New Jersey.
New Jersey invites beachgoers to get vaccinated through shots at the shore.
May Davila in Panama tells us about Panama sending a mobile health clinic to Costa Rica. Zachary Lawrence in Miami updates us on that shooting in South Florida that killed 2 people and wounded at least 20 others. For business news, Jane Kathleen Gregorio takes us to South Texas Shoppers World, where local businesses enjoy the spotlight. In North Hills, California, EBC friend Lance Rogacion tells us about kids helping their moms and dads bake cookies to enjoy this Memorial Day weekend. And speaking of Memorial Day, we'll ask tonight's team how they spent the 3-day holiday. Our coverage begins now. As we mentioned, it's Memorial Day in the United States, a day to remember those in the military who lost their lives in service to the country. This morning, President Joe Biden took part in a wreath-laying ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier at Arlington National Cemetery. In his Memorial Day speech, Biden called upon Americans to set aside their differences and understand each other.
Empathy is the fuel of democracy. Our willingness to see each other, not as enemies, as neighbors, even when we disagree, to understand what the other's going through.
Now, a lot of people used the holiday weekend to start the return to normal. Down in Florida, for many, it was a day at the beach. And it's something that these folks have obviously missed for a long time.
So I think it's a moment to be precautious, but also to retake all those moments that we missed last year.
It's my first trip, and we got off the plane, and it was warm, and I'm like, oh my God, let's hit the beach. I haven't been on the beach since last year.
So just to see everybody outside having fun, I feel like that's really good for the community. You know, a good stress reliever. Everyone's having a good time, and I like it.
No mask, it feels good because I can actually breathe, but it's still a little kind of scary because, like, okay, it was a pandemic for a little bit of time, but it's like, oh, it just disappeared. So it's kind of scary, but I'm getting back used to the no mask. I will say that.
Elsewhere in the country, others marked the day reflecting on a historic black eye for America. It was 100 years ago today, the Tulsa race massacre took place in Oklahoma. Mobs of whites slaughtered black residents and destroyed black-owned businesses in the city's Greenwood district. The violence carried on to the following day. It destroyed what was then the wealthiest black district in the United States. The area was known as Black Wall Street. Up to 300 people were killed. More than 800 required hospital treatment. Authorities rounded up thousands of black residents and imprisoned them for several days. President Joe Biden will be in Tulsa tomorrow to attend the commemoration of the centenary of that massacre. The head of the World Health Organization says the pandemic is far from over. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus says it would be a monumental error for any country to think the danger is past, and he says there's a lot more to be done.
Tailored and consistent use of public health measures in combination with equitable vaccination remains the way out. I urge all member states to commit to supporting the targets I set out on Monday. to achieve vaccination of at least 10% of the population of all countries by the end of September, and at least 30% by the end of the year.
And he's right. Only 30% by the end of the year. That's still a long way to go to achieve global herd immunity. Well, let's look at today's COVID-19 numbers now, provided by the Corona Resource Center of the Johns Hopkins University in Medicine. As of 6 p.m. Eastern Time today, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide now standing at 170,513,000. Top three on the list of countries with recorded cases: the United States, more than 33.2 million. India, more than 28 million. Brazil, more than 16.5 million. And sadly, more than 3,540,000 lives have been lost worldwide to this virus. Top three countries with the most number of COVID-19 related deaths: the United States, more than 594,000. Brazil, more than 462,000. India, more than 329,000. Now, the number of COVID-19 vaccine doses administered worldwide, nearly 1,900,000,000. We're coming up on that 2 billion mark. The environmental file now: nature on a rampage around the world, drought in California, floods in New Zealand, an awakened volcano in Africa, and this one, well, it's man-made, a marine disaster off the coast of Sri Lanka. And we'll begin there, where a container ship continues to burn off the west coast of Sri Lanka. Now, in these shots, you can see the firefighting efforts of the Sri Lankan military. This vessel has been burning for 11 days now. Most of the cargo has been consumed by the flames. Some of it has fallen into the Indian Ocean. And this is why it's devastating for the environment. Tons of microplastic granules in the water have been washed up on the island's famed beaches. Navy personnel are collecting the plastic debris and hauling it away. These polyethylene pellets could cause years of ecological damage to the shoreline, and the tourism industry will be hurt as the beaches deteriorate. Now, the immediate effect has been on the people who depend on the ocean for a living. These boats you see here remain idle as a fishing ban is in place. Sujiwa Athukarali, a clergyman in the region, says this disaster has put the livelihoods of thousands of people on hold.
I mean, this is a big problem for all the fishermen. I mean, these days, of course, they can't go to the sea and they can't do their works because of this tragic situation. So we have 4,500 families, fisher folks. So most of the villages are fishermen. So all the people got affected because of this tragic situation.
A tragic situation also in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, fearing a second eruption of the Nyiragongo volcano. Since last week, more than 400,000 people have fled their homes from the city of Goma to other parts of the country. Many of the displaced are staying in churches, mosques, and community centers, some just sleeping outside. Doctors Without Borders now saying there's a new danger. Cholera, the waterborne disease, is already endemic in parts of the Congo. The group says access to drinkable water is the biggest problem these people are facing. To address the water shortage, it's being trucked in, but more assistance is needed. Food, shelter, and medicine are among the other major needs. Too much water has resulted in the government of New Zealand declaring a state of emergency in the province of Canterbury. The region is being pounded by heavy rain. About 3,000 homes are at risk of being flooded. The army is standing by to assist with evacuations. The major city in the province is the coastal community of Christchurch, where 100 millimeters of rain was expected. Up to 300 millimeters of rain forecast to fall further inland. John Chamberlain, well, he's a farmer in Canterbury, and he says in just a matter of hours, a lot of his land was submerged.
Well, I went to bed about 10 o'clock last night and it was not a sign of the river. Get up at 6 o'clock this morning and it's gone. Half the farm's underwater.
The opposite problem for people in California, though, not enough water. The state's second largest reservoir is at less than half of its capacity. That reservoir, it's called Lake Oroville, supplies drinking water to 27 million people. The water shortage is going to hurt farmers as well. You can see it there. Where they're walking, that should be all water covered. There was very little runoff this year from snow in the mountains, and it'll be 4 to 5 months before the rains return. To give you an idea of how bad it is, we're going to show you now up on the screen Lake Folsom. This used to be a marina. You can see the docks there, but what's missing from the lake is most of the water and the boats. John Yarborough of California's Water Resource Department says this is what climate change looks like.
So again, this is a sign of this. We think about the effects of global warming and climate change, and this is, we start to expect to see these more extreme years of have very wet years and then very dry years like we're having right now. So having the water down at this level here means that we're going to have less water for agriculture, for municipal water use, and also for all the environmental needs.
Up next, we have stories from Panama, Florida, and Pennsylvania. Eagle News America continues.
Events happen around us all the time, in our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced. Eagle News, because we live in interesting times.
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization. Startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business. Your weekly dose of entrepreneurial inspiration to update you on the latest developments in the world of business. Get up close and personal with CEOs and thought leaders to help you discover valuable insights. Sharpen your instincts for smart decision-making with the latest markets and economic trends, disruptive ideas, global innovation, social entrepreneurship, and other leading-edge business ideas. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business, from vision to action.
You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Thomas I. Likeness. Central America now. Panama has made a neighborly gesture to Costa Rica. EBC's May Davila tells us the Panamanian government is sending Costa Rica a mobile clinic.
Panama sends to Costa Rica a mobile medical unit for emergencies, or UMMER, in support of the health situation there caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. In a joint effort coordinated between the Social Security Fund of Panama and its Costa Rican counterpart, the sanitary installation was delivered in hermetic boxes that are part of the mobile structure. The mobile hospital has been transferred Saturday to Heredia, specifically to the San Vicente de Paul Hospital in the north-central part of the country and on the border with Nicaragua, where it will be installed. The mobile center includes 40 beds, an electric generator, restrooms, heavy-duty tents, air conditioning, and sinks, among other facilities that meet international specifications for emergency medical equipment. Foreign Minister Erica Moines highlights that Panama is collaborating with neighboring countries to control the spread of COVID, strengthen institutional capacity and leadership in solidarity response. She says Panama is doing its part in coordination with the international community, proven that this pandemic will only end if countries work together at a global level. President Carlos Alvarado Quesada of Costa Rica on Twitter thanks Panama President Laurentino Cortizo and the Panamanian people for this important support. The response from the Panamanian president was immediate. President Cortizo on Twitter replies that friendship between brotherly countries depends on the solidarity that may occur between them in difficult times. He assures President Quesada and the people of Costa Rica that they can always count on Panama's support because the fight against COVID-19 belongs to everyone. Desde Ciudad de Panama, Nida Villa, Eagle News. Vivimos en tiempos interesantes.
Back in the United States now, the gun violence never seems to end. The latest mass shooting, Florida, 2 people died, more than 20 others wounded. Eagle News correspondent Zachary Lawrence has that story.
While the nation is still reeling from last Thursday's mass shooting in San Jose, California, another incident of violence occurred in downtown Miami, Florida, early Sunday morning. According to the Miami-Dade Police Department, 3 subjects wearing ski masks and armed with handguns and semi-automatic rifles exited their SUV outside of a concert venue and began randomly shooting into the crowd. The unidentified subjects then entered their SUV and fled the scene. Upon arrival of the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, it was determined that the 2 victims were deceased on scene and 20 others were injured. Their motive is unknown and the investigation is still ongoing. Alfredo Ramirez, director of the Miami-Dade Police Department, described the incident as a cowardly act of gun violence. In his Twitter post, he called the shooters cold-blooded murders and that justice would be sought out. With gun sales at a record high and an increase in gun violence, Sunday's mass shooting is being called the worst in the county in recent history. In Miami, Florida, Zachary Lawrence, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
In Pennsylvania, things getting back to normal. EBC's Mila Simbulan is standing by with details on the latest restrictions that have been removed. Mila, this must have been a welcome move for people this Memorial Day weekend.
That's right, Thomas. This is good news for Pennsylvania. The Wolf administration is reminding Pennsylvanians that all businesses, events, and venues can return to 100% capacity with the lifting of COVID-19 mitigation orders starting today, Monday, May 31st at 12:01 a.m. The current order requiring masks for unvaccinated and partially vaccinated individuals will remain in place until June 28th, or when 70% of Pennsylvanians age 18 and older get their second dose of Pfizer or Moderna vaccine, or the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine, whichever comes first. Here's Acting Secretary of Health, Allison Beam. Take a look.
Pennsylvania continues to make tremendous effort and progress in our COVID-19 vaccinations. According to the CDC, nearly 98% of Pennsylvanians over 65 years old have received at least 1 dose of vaccine. Yesterday, we hit a milestone with more than 70% of adults receiving at least 1 dose of vaccine. In fact, Pennsylvania is one of the largest states to achieve this milestone. To date, 52.7% of the 18 and over population have received their second dose. What all of this means is that Pennsylvanians are realizing that they have the power to stop COVID-19 and that they are stepping up to get vaccinated. It also means that we are on track to get to 70% of adults with second doses by the end of June. After reviewing the vaccination data for people 18 and over and discussing it with the COVID-19 Vaccine Legislative Task Force, we have determined that the Commonwealth's mask order can safely be lifted on June 28th or when 70% of adults get their second dose, whichever comes first. That puts the future in the hands of all Pennsylvanians.
Once the statewide masking order is lifted, Pennsylvania will continue to follow the CDC guidance for wearing a mask where required by law, rule, and regulations, including local business and workplace guidance. The CDC requires individuals to wear a mask on planes, buses, trains, and other forms of public transportation traveling into, within, or out of the United States and in U.S. transportation hubs, such as airports and stations. In addition, all individuals should still follow guidance at workplaces, local businesses, long-term care facilities, hospitals, prisons, and homeless shelters. Here's some Pennsylvania vaccine highlights. According to the CDC, as of Saturday morning, May 29, Pennsylvania has administered first doses of vaccine to 58% of its entire population, and the state ranks 9th among all 50 states for first doses administered by percentage of population. 53.5% of Pennsylvanians age 18 and older are fully vaccinated. Pennsylvania also ranks 5th among all 50 states for total doses administered. To date, Pennsylvania have administered 10,520,581 doses total through May 29. The first or single doses are 6,243,288 administered, and second doses is 4,277,293 administered. In Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, Eagle News, this is Myla Simbulan. We live in interesting times.
Myla, now that, restaurants and other venues are at 100% capacity, how are people there feeling about that?
Well, Thomas, I was just doing errands over the weekend, and there was a lot of people. I went to a store, it's a warehouse store, and if you're fully vaccinated, you're not required to wear a mask. But then, so some people are not wearing masks, but I'm not comfortable yet. So I was still wearing masks, and I feel that there's a lot of people who really wants to open all this, especially restaurants. There's always a line, especially those restaurants are good restaurants here in my area. There's always a line because there's still not 100% capacity. And so for sure, once that's lifted, which is today, there will be restaurants, especially the restaurants and the gyms and all those type of places. There will be really, that's a big reopen for Pennsylvania. Thomas?
It certainly is a big deal for restaurants. I know up here, these restrictions have just been a killer for the businesses. Some of them just plain don't survive because there's, when you're shut down like that, there's no money coming in, but you still got a lot of money going out for expenses. So certainly that is good news that things are fully reopened. You mentioned you went to a big box store that allows people to go in maskless if they've been fully vaccinated. I'm curious, do they ask for any kind of proof?
No, actually not. You just enter the way I usually enter, just show your ID, and then that's it. But I'm still wearing a mask. There are other people behind me who's not wearing masks, and they don't ask for any proof or any vaccination card. So I guess there's really no rule. I mean, they don't really check if you're fully vaccinated or not. Thomas?
Are you looking forward to finally being able to park the mask permanently when is it, June 28th, I think, in your state, or whenever that requirement is lifted? Are you looking forward to that?
I am looking forward, Thomas, because I'm having a hard time wearing masks for a long time. But then if I'm in a crowded place, like even grocery stores, when sometimes there's a lot of people, I'll probably still wear my mask. I feel like I told my friend today, like I feel naked if I don't wear a mask. Like it's different. It's different already when you go into places like the grocery stores, and if you're not wearing a mask. Thomas?
It's become such a habit now. Do you think things are moving too quickly in Pennsylvania, or Is it time to start easing up to the degree that they have?
I think it's time to start, especially it's getting warmer here in Pennsylvania. I'm just not sure during fall season, because that's the time where last year the COVID-19 rates went up again. So yeah, reopening during summertime I think is a good, but I'm not sure whether it's another peak will happen during flu season. Thomas?
Yeah. Hopefully things don't start all over again in the fall. Just one last question. I'm wondering about your thoughts on, you developed a lot of habits throughout the pandemic. Which ones do you think you'll keep going forward once the pandemic is over?
Yeah, even if there is a pandemic, I will still keep my hand sanitizer with me all the time. It's something that I'm used to. Anything I touch, if I touch the door or the freezer, when you grab something from the freezer at the grocery stores, I put hand sanitizer right away. If I use I usually use the self-service when I buy things at the grocery store as well. Because I usually just go to the grocery store. That's the only place I go to almost every week. And yeah, I once I touch that, I have to sanitize my hands. That's probably one thing that got used to. I mean, for more than a year, I've been doing that. So I probably continue doing that. As far as the mask is concerned, I will like I said, I probably will still do the mask, especially when it's crowded places. But when I go outside and I need to do walking or running, I don't want any mask with me, because that's going to be hard when you do those type of activities. But yeah, crowd places, yeah, I still continue to wear a mask. Thomas?
Yep, life has certainly changed. Thanks for joining us, Mila. Well, do stick around, because we want to hear how you spent the Memorial Day weekend. I can't even say it, Memorial Day weekend.
Looking forward to that.
Still to come, we have stories from New Jersey, from Texas. And this is Eagle News America.
Factual.
We have to defeat the virus everywhere.
Timely information. Balanced, not only in the country, but also abroad.
I'm certain of one thing.
Interviews that people need to know. Watch Aguila Pilipinas, a 1-hour newscast of reports coming from regional hubs in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Know the important updates in Asia in ASEAN in Focus. Track the latest stories in the provinces in Aguila Provincia. Tune into Mata ng Agila, the evening primetime news program of Net25. Balanced and objective, Mata ng Agila covers national and international issues, tackles news on business, health, science, and technology, entertainment, sports and human interest features, and current events. And Eagle News International delivers the latest global reports, impartial, accessible, and up-to-date. It brings to fore EBC's rich international scope and access to valuable information streams.
Well, thank you to explain our health outdoor
Catch these programs on Net25. You can also watch our news programs through eaglenews.ph and Eagle News Facebook page and YouTube channel.
You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Thomas I. Likeness. Well, it might have been a holiday weekend, but the state of New Jersey did not take any time off from its vaccination campaign. EBC's Mayan Manzano Garzon joins us live now to tell us about an immunization promotion the state ran on the holiday weekend. Mayan, what was happening there?
Thank you, Thomas. As the Asbury Park on Friday, May 28, Governor Phil Murphy and U.S. Congressman Frank Pallone announced the Shots at the Shore vaccination program to encourage COVID-19 vaccinations over the weekend. The program, a partnership between federal, state, county, and local governments, as well as the Visiting Nurse Association, or VNA, of Central Jersey Community Health Center and Walmart, will provide COVID-19 vaccines to those visiting Monmouth County beaches. Take a look.
We've been encouraging as many people as possible to get vaccinated before they come down the shore, and millions have. More than 4 million New Jerseyans are already fully vaccinated. But now we're going to make it possible for beachgoers to simultaneously get some sun. Cue the sun, please. And at the same time, their first shot. And we're calling this one Shots at the Shore. Shots at the Shore is the result of a broad partnership. Federal, state, county, local, public, private, you name it. All working together for a healthier New Jersey. So here's our invitation. If you're going to spend any part of your Saturday or Sunday this Memorial Day weekend along the Monmouth County oceanfront and you have yet to be vaccinated, we got you covered. We will have stations set up at Sandy Hook, at the Pier Village Gazebo in Long Branch, John, and right here at the Grand Arcade and the Boardwalk in Asbury Park, where you could get your first shot. In each location, from 9 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, pharmacists from Walmart and nurses from the Visiting Nurse Association of Central Jersey Community Health Center will be on hand with all 3 of the vaccines available to us. Those 18 and up can select which vaccine they want, whether it be Pfizer, Moderna, or J&J. Those 12 to 15 will be able to receive the Pfizer vaccine. And for those who select their Pfizer or Moderna vaccines after you get your first shot at the shore, you'll be able to follow up and get your second shot at any Walmart pharmacy location in the entire state of New Jersey. And don't forget one other thing. Getting your COVID vaccine is absolutely free of charge.
For New Jersey's COVID-19 numbers, the Department of Health has reported another 177 new positive cases today, bringing our statewide total to 887,699. Sadly, we are also reporting 5 new confirmed deaths, pushing the total to 23,542 fatalities. But on the brighter side, the latest total of fully vaccinated individuals in New Jersey is now 4,223,363. To know the latest on New Jersey's vaccination progress, visit covid19.nj.gov/vaccine. And Thomas, for a quick weather update, it is currently clear here in New Jersey. It is 57 degrees Fahrenheit, or 14 degrees Celsius. In Sicklerville, New Jersey, May and Manzano Garzon, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Thomas.
Mayanne, the Shots at the Shore. Say that 3 times and try not to stumble. How successful was it? A lot of people take part?
Well, yes, Tom, a lot of people went to the beach and a lot of people took part. The Asbury Park vaccination site hosted by Madison Market operated in the Grand Arcade from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. on both Saturday and Sunday. And the Sandy Hook, the Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson vaccines were administered in a drive-through tent provided by the New Jersey EMS Task Force in Parking Lot E, from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. on both Saturday and Sunday as well. So it was very successful. Thomas.
Well, it's good to see incentives like that and just making that vaccine accessible to some people who otherwise might not take the time to get vaccinated. Now, the Sandy Hook site, who hosted that?
The Sandy Hook site, Thomas, was hosted by the National Park Service with logistical support provided by U.S. Coast Guard Station Sandy Hook and the New Jersey EMS Task Force. Thomas.
And what about the Long Branch vaccination site?
The Long Branch vaccination site, Thomas, was hosted by the City of Long Branch and Long Branch Police Department. It operated in Pier Village and on the boardwalk under the gazebo on Saturday only from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So all of these were very successful, Thomas.
So obviously a very busy weekend for a lot of people, making sure even more people get immunized. In terms of New Jersey's reopening, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Mila a little bit earlier. Do you think things are moving too fast, too slow, or just right?
Well, Thomas, I believe that New Jersey is one of the states who actually didn't, abruptly drop all the COVID rules or restrictions. We're actually one of those, I guess, talking about the neighboring, the East Coast part of the nation, is that we're actually one of those late ones. So I believe that during this, the government, the state officials are actually very, very cautious, and they're just opening up, I guess, for this holiday so everyone will enjoy. And I believe it's just about time, Thomas.
And one last question. Again, what habits, Mayanna, are you going to hang on to once all of this is over?
Thomas, just like Mila, I think I will keep this small pouch in my purse all the time that contains sanitizer, extra mask, and also antibacterial wipes. I think I will keep them in my purse for maybe a little longer than when everything is back to normal. And also the love for outdoor spaces. I think I'd love to keep that also as well, Thomas, because it makes you appreciate the outdoors more. Thomas.
Thanks for joining us, Mayanne, and stick around because we want to hear what you did this Memorial Day weekend.
Will do. Thank you.
In an effort to spur economic recovery, business owners in the city of Robston, Texas, created a market day. This to help local shops gain more exposure and bring income into the city. EBC's Texas Bureau Chief Jane Kathleen Gregorio takes us on a trip through South Texas Shoppers World.
We're here today in Robstown, Texas, where vendors from the Coastal Bend have gathered together to promote local business by having a market day called Shoppers World. As a way to help local businesses get back on their feet and stimulate economic growth in the city of Robstown, two business owners, Kathy Villafuerte of Blue Canary Marketing and property investor David Petrick, came up with the concept of holding the South Texas Shoppers World event to not only help vendors connect with customers, but to also keep the money flowing within the community by getting people to spend their dollars in Robstown. The event was attended by vendors from all over the Coastal Bend community, as well as residents, their families, and shoppers from nearby Corpus Christi and other neighboring towns.
Robstown is a small town about 15 minutes away from Corpus Christi, Texas. We are very excited to put on this event, South Texas Shoppers World, because Robstown is very prime location, that it is only about 3 hours away from 52% of Texas residents. So we're excited about putting on South Texas Shoppers World, and we invite all the people in the state to come out and shop with local vendors.
And I'm Cordelia Bosques, and I'm on the Robstown City Council, Place 3. And I'm very excited that we have this going on with all these vendors out here in our community and people, and bringing business into Robstown, because it is a wonderful community and we have many things to offer. And come and join us.
Hi, I'm Audrey Charva, and I'm with the Joyful Casa, and we're located right here in Robstown, Texas. I specialize in helping families and businesses to take the stress out of their daily lives so that we can bring more joy back into their life.
My name is Maxwell Fluency. This is Claire Francis Carva, Celia Agnes Never, Abigail Rose Carva, and Logan Matthew Lewinsky. It's been slow, but this is actually our first time actually selling, so it's good, I guess.
How does it feel being a business person today?
It's pretty cool, honestly. All of our parents who were helping us through this, supporting us. you guys built from this ground up that we're
My name is Carla Hillman, and we specialize in selling unique cactus and succulents. This is our first time to actually do a trade show like this, but it's gotten us in front of lots of different types of people, just letting people see our plants. Peyton is very involved with all aspects of our business. He helps me with everything from picking up new plants, taking road trips out west to set up accounts with vendors, to then, unloading plants, pricing plants.
My name is Randall Peyton Martini. I am 10 years old, and this place is a really good place to do trade shows. My mom, she was really helpful in teaching me how to do stuff like learn about the plants, plant the plants, sell the plants, and go even get the plants. It helps me because it helps me learn how to balance the checkbooks, how to sell stuff, how to be able to talk to people and let them be comfortable while you're selling them items.
Hi, my name is Whitney Brown, and I am here with Sparkling Acres Farm. So we specialize in goat's milk soap. We actually have a farm in Corpus Christi, Texas, and we make soap from the milk that we gather from our miniature dairy goats at this time. And we also have kimchi, which we've been making for a few years. We really love Korean food. So I think having markets like this are really good for small businesses. I always encourage people to support small businesses, and I do the same myself. It's just an opportunity to keep the money local and also to get handmade products that are made with care and with love.
And I heard about South Texas Shoppers World from the newspaper, and I actually live in Corpus Christi, but it's worth it to me to drive 28 minutes to be able to see a bunch of talent all together. So I'm the very proud owner of a new plant. For me, it's important to make that connection with a person because I feel like I not only want to buy a product, but I want to be able to buy a way to enjoy that product. And I do also sometimes shop at, big name stores, but I don't feel like I have a connection with them. I'm just getting something from them. I'm just money to them. They're just a product to me.
In Robstown, Texas, I'm Jane Kathleen Gregorio, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
I just dropped by there to hear the country music. Well, still to come, baking time, and tonight's roundtable about how our team spent the Memorial Day weekend. You're watching Eagle News America.
It's time to take one step further and face the impossible. Time to search the unknown and fight for the truth. Time to overcome boundaries and connect the world. It's time for DW News.
Start up your weekday mornings with edutainment, news, and information kasama ang inyong paboritong Net25 shows. Samahan ang inyong paboritong morning barkada sa Pambansang Almusal at 5 a.m. Tatalakayin mga pangunahing balita sa pagtutulungan ng Radyo Agila at Net25. Samahan si Weng de la Fuente sa Balitalakayan, 7 a.m. Saganang Mamamayan at 8 a.m. NHK World at 9 a.m. Eagle News International at 10 a.m. At mga balitang dapat niyong malaman mula sa Agila, Pilipinas at 11 a.m. This is your morning startup every weekday mornings only here on Net25.
This is Eagle News America. I'm Thomas I Likeness. You know, features like the one coming up are my favorites because I like good food and I like to cook and I like desserts and I like snack foods. And well, today we're joined by EBC friend Lance Vergastian. He's going to show us how to make some cookies to go. So sit down, take notes, so then you can duplicate Lance's efforts.
Snacks are important, so we found a group of kids that helped their family by baking cookies. What are some of the ingredients for this simple recipe?
First, we start with flour, sugar, baking soda, salt, chocolate chips, vanilla, egg, melted butter. I mix them together, and then we made it to balls, and then we put them on the tray. And then we put it in the oven for 12 minutes.
Did you have fun baking cookies, and what's your favorite cookie?
I had so much fun baking the cookies.
I had so much fun baking the cookies.
And my favorite cookie is chocolate chips.
The chocolate chip cookie.
Chocolate chip cookies. Chocolate chip cookies.
Who helped you bake cookies?
My siblings and my mom and dad helped me make the cookies. My mom.
My mom helped me make the cookies.
Who helped me is Actor Ella, and I made it with warm love.
Did you eat the cookies right out of the oven?
After baking the cookies, I ate them right away. I ate it right away.
Yes, I ate them right away.
No, but first we let them cool down for a little bit. I ate them after I cooked it, and it was so good. And it tastes very good. It tastes crunchy and crispy. And it tastes good.
And they taste delicious. Before taking off for Memorial Day, we hope you didn't forget to pack all the usual travel essentials like sunscreen, patience, and lots of milk. That is if your kids bake cookies for the trip. In North Hills, California, I am EBC friend Lance Vergastian, Eagle News. We live in an interesting times.
Time now for our roundtable, Memorial Day. You know, there's a more somber element to it, remembering those who lost their lives in military service to our country. And one of our correspondents talked a little bit about that last night, Lori Jarvina. She's ex-military, she's ex-Army. And for her, it had a special meaning this holiday weekend. But for many, it's also the unofficial first day of summer. I know when I lived in the Midwest many decades ago, we had things like community picnics. People took road trips. In other parts of the country, you saw earlier in the program, people in coastal regions flocking to the beach. All kinds of things were happening on Memorial Day I lived in the Quad Cities area, which is right on the Iowa-Illinois state line. The Mississippi River was the state line, and Rock Island, a lot of you might know, Rock Island has a huge military presence because of the location of the Rock Island Armory, the Rock Island Arsenal. There's a national cemetery there as well. So things like Veterans Day, Memorial Day, those are really big things in that area. Just a little bit of background on Memorial Day. It began after the Civil War. Back in 1868, it was a General John A. Logan, who first declared a day of observance for veterans of the Union Civil War. And that's where Memorial Day started. It is now held on the last Monday of May. So this year it is May the 31st. Next year it'll be May 30th, and so on and so forth. I think this Memorial Day, though, and I want to find out from our two correspondents joining us tonight, Mila and Mayanne, I think this Memorial Day might be a little more significant for people because in a way we've all been in a war. It's been a war against an invisible enemy, the COVID-19 virus. We're emerging from the pandemic. We have fewer restrictions than we did last year because last year's Memorial Day, pretty much an indoor event by ourselves. This year, like I said, we have fewer restrictions. Your thoughts on that, ladies? Mila?
Hey, Thomas. So yes, today we honor the men and women who died while on duty with the U.S. military. Today is for all of you. And yes, Memorial Day is also the time we usually go to parks to barbecue. That's what usually the Americans do during this time of the year. And last year, we went to the same place where we went to today. It's a park where there is a lake where you can do boating, kayaking, and all those other water activities. And so you can see that's my child, my youngest, getting ready to go kayaking, and that's my eldest. She really loves kayaking, and that's where we went. That's why we always go to this park today with our friends. And so we did the same thing last year, actually, during the middle, in the middle pandemic. And the difference is there's more people today. When we were there last year, there was a few people on different tables. And then today it's packed, actually. The parking lot was full compared to last year. And I think there's only 4 cars. But today you can't even find parking. Good thing we were early. We were up there early in the morning. And yeah, there's a big difference from last year to today. Thomas?
Did you find people to be a little more outgoing? I mean, last year there was hardly anybody around, but did you find people sort of more social than they have been in the past, more willing to talk?
Oh, yes, definitely. There's a lot of people, especially we were in line to rent a boat, and there's a lot of people talking to each other without masks because we're outdoors. But once you go inside, you still have to wear a mask to pay for your rentals and all those things. So we're still, that's in the state of Delaware. So state of Delaware is still following CDC guidelines. So yes, you don't even know whether they're vaccinated or not, but they're still following. You still have to wear a mask all the time when you're indoors. Thomas?
Let us find out from Mayanne what it was like in New Jersey. What did you do on Memorial Day this year, Mayanne?
Well, Thomas, today was very wonderful. After a long time, finally, we gathered again after, for the first time after a long time. We had an outdoor picnic with family. As you mentioned, we do community picnics on Memorial Day, most often than not, with family, friends, and church mates in Wrightstown, New Jersey. Wrightstown is actually like in the middle of farms with horses and animals. So it's very fun and just be outdoor and with nature, Thomas. So we had a Filipino themed gathering with our tents decorated with Filipino trinkets and knickknacks. We also cooked, of course, Filipino food from fish balls to rice cakes to pinakbet. I hope you know all of this, and from sagot gulaman also as our drink. So it was kind of like, I was kind of like nostalgic, but at the same time I really enjoyed having Filipino themed party and Filipino food. It was so much fun, Thomas, and we really savored the moment because, again, as mentioned, it was like first time after a long time. And I also noticed that most of us are more than usual. We're more comfortable hugging each other now and sitting beside each other. You know, it's just more comfortable, relaxed now, you know, with all these blessed restrictions and everybody are vaccinated. Thomas?
Mayan, how did that compare to last year? What did you do last year?
Last year, Thomas, to tell you honestly, I don't even remember because last year was like a mashup of dates. You know, we were like still adjusting because we were very new in this lockdown and self-quarantine, I remember. So I think we were just home, you know, practicing self-quarantining the last year. Thomas?
Yeah, life is changing. Life is changing, and it's good to see that you have the opportunity to get out there. You know, I got to say I'm a bit jealous because up here in Canada, we don't have Memorial Day. We last week we had a long weekend, and it's called Victoria Day in most of Canada except Quebec because Quebec doesn't recognize the monarchy and basically it celebrates the birthday of a dead monarch is all that is. So it's kind of a what did I do? What did we do? We just roamed around a little bit here because we're still under a lot of restrictions up here in Canada, trying to get over that third wave. We're reopening. Some fear maybe a little bit too soon because our vaccination is a little bit different than yours. Although we got more and more people getting that first dose, it's trying to get that second dose. We just haven't had a lot of vaccines, so they spread it out about 4 months between doses. But you know, getting back to Memorial Day down there, do you think people generally take it as how shall I say, as a somber event it should be, or did it turn into more of a shopping holiday, more of an unofficial celebration of the beginning of summer, or do people still have that respect for the military?
I think because of the pandemic, it's more of a celebration of reopening. It's usually Memorial Day is like barbecue day for everyone, especially right after the pandemic. Before, you know, we still remember all our fallen soldiers, but today, since everyone's reopening, this is the, like you said, unofficial start of summer. Everybody just want to go out there and, you know, be under the sun or, you know, do something outdoors. Yeah, it's more of the effect of the pandemic as well during this Memorial Day.
Thomas, actually here in New Jersey, there were several parts of New Jersey where there were parades to honor, of course, our veterans, the fallen veterans. And I guess the picnic and the community gathering that I mentioned was just more, you know, personal. And we took advantage of this time to reunite and gather once again. Thomas?
Yeah, America has always had a lot more awareness, a lot more, many times respect for the military than certainly up here. The military has not had that big a presence in people's lives as it did in America. But you know, there's another group of people we want to salute today as well. They did not take a holiday, many of them. They just tirelessly worked this weekend on the front lines. You know, I'm talking about our healthcare workers, our first responders, our essential workers of all types. Everybody out there on the front line. Let's show our appreciation with a round of applause this evening. We appreciate you. And thank you. That's today's Eagle News America, and I thank you all for joining us this evening. I'm Thomas I. Likeness, and truly, we live in interesting times.
Factual.
We have to defeat the virus everywhere.
Timely information. Balanced. Not only